Hey folks, picture a tiny village in Ivory Coast where towering cocoa trees blanket red dirt and farmers hustle all day without ever tasting chocolate. What if I told you a guy named Ibrahimtraoré turned the tables building a $150 chocolate empire without the West's help? This is Traoré built a $150 chocolate empire without the West. In the next 15 minutes, you're gonna dive into 3 epic vibes. 1. The real deal on cocoa farmers and how Traoré shook things up. 2. The sweet revolution kicking off in villages like Dupé. 3. How this chocolate dream is powering Africa's future, no handouts required. This story's gonna get you pumped to act. Ever witnessed a comeback like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm all ears. But first, let's step into those cocoa fields where it all kicked off. Back in the day, right in the heart of Ivory Coast's cocoa country, farmers like Awa poured sweat into growing the world's fave treat, yet they'd never tasted it. Life was all about red dirt and non-stop grind. Amid the cocoa groves, a quiet battle raged. Doesn't that tug at your heartstrings? Imagine Awa, a 45-year-old farmer in Dupé, lugging 50 kilos of cocoa beans daily just to score enough rice for her family. Globally, folks drop over $130 billion yearly on chocolate, but Awa pulls in less than $2 a day. The system's a rip-off middlemen, and markets in New York and London call the shots, leaving farmers with peanuts. It's like American farmers during the Great Depression squeezed by big corps, though the U.S. later fought back with farm laws. Tons of African nations like Ghana back then sold raw and stayed broke. Awa's hope flickered, but the load wore her down. Here's the deal, folks. Knowing your worth is the first step to flipping the script. So what sparked a change for folks like Awa? Got a hustle story to share? Drop it in the comments. But right now, let's dig into the unfair trade game. Yo, folks, let's switch it up to the cocoa fields of Ivory Coast, where the trade game's been stacked, leaving farmers like Awa at the mercy of big players miles away. Beneath the cocoa hustle, a power play unfolds. Doesn't that get you fired up? Imagine a middleman in Abidjan, snagging cocoa at 600 CFA per kilogram, then flipping it to Europe for 10 times. That raking in all the profit. The price gets set by trading floors in New York and London, where farmers have zero voice. It's like American cotton farmers back in the Great Depression crushed by giants like Cotton Inc. Though the U.S. later passed laws to even things out. Tons of African nations like Ghana, way back, stuck to raw exports and stayed broke. Awa's been grinding for years, but this system keeps her down. Common mistake. Selling raw without building a local brand. Big oops. Here's the deal, folks. Controlling the value chain is the key to keeping the cash. So, who stepped up to flip this script? Got a trade tale to share? Tag a friend who'd vibe with this. But right now, let's meet the guy with the big plan. All right, folks, step into the spotlight with Ibrahimtraoré, a guy with a game-changing idea striding into Ivory Coast to reclaim cocoa's worth for Africa. Amid the cocoa pods, a bold vision takes root. Doesn't that spark some hope? Imagine Traoré hosting a workshop in Abidjan, connecting with 200 farmers, listening to their stories, and sketching out plans for local chocolate factories. This dude, fresh from leading Burkina Faso's 2022 coup, brought that same hustle to push homegrown processing policies. It's like Elon Musk investing in US-made tech to ditch foreign reliance. Tons of African leaders just talk big and stall big mistake. Traoré flips the script, turning words into action with his military savvy. Here's the takeaway, guys. A vision's only worth it if you back it up with real moves. So how did this vision kick off? Wanna spread the word? Share this vid on social to amp it up. Yo folks, let's cruise into Dupé, a hidden gem of a village nestled in Daloa's cocoa fields, Ivory Coast, where 15 everyday heroes turned cocoa into a pride party without fancy gear. From humble clay ovens, a sweet revolution rises. Doesn't that warm your heart? Imagine a 50-year-old woman in Dupé, tears streaming as she sold her first chocolate bar for 600 CFA, calling it our win. They borrowed a grinder from a rice mill, fired up clay ovens to roast cocoa, and wrapped bars in banana leaves, rough but real. It's like Ben & Jerry's kicking off from a garage in the US, growing from small roots to big dreams. Tons of communities quit when times got tough. Big mistake. But Dupé's crew powered through, crafting the Inzora brand to lift their village's spirit. The secret: creativity from scarcity. Here's the deal, folks. From tiny steps, you can build something massive with grit. So what happened when Europe pushed back? Got a comeback story. Encourage a friend to chat about this win. But right now, let's face the battle ahead. Yo folks, things heated up when the big chocolate giants from Europe crashed the party, dropping rules to keep Africa on a tight leash. Beneath those shiny wrappers, a power struggle quietly explodes. Doesn't that get your blood pumping? Imagine Nestlé slapping strict quality checks on Ivory Coast, slowing Inzora's export to France, while Mars slashes cocoa prices to pressure farmers. Those EU rules, dressed up as safety measures, are really just guarding their wallets. It's like US companies once blocking local brands to hold monopolies. Think Coca-Cola versus Pepsi back in the day. Tons of African nations caved to foreign pressure. Huge mistake. But Traoré's crew stood their ground, fighting for their worth. The breakdown shows. This is a classic power play to stay in control. Here's the vibe, guys. Standing up to push back is how you claim your value. So how did this revolution spread? Wanna dig deeper? Try learning about trade rules and drop your thoughts. But right now, let's watch the chocolate wave roll across Africa. The chocolate fever has exploded, spreading from Dupé to Ghana and beyond, turning cocoa into a pride wave across the continent. Across African fields, a sweet movement blooms. Doesn't that light you up? Imagine a factory in Ghana churning out 1,000 chocolate bars daily, teaming up with Ethiopian Airlines for in-flight treats, while Senegal kicks off cocoa tours. Reports show GDP in processing zones jumped 5%, but steady investment is key for the long haul. It's like the tech startup boom in Silicon Valley, US. Expanding too fast can tank quality. Big mistake. Dupé sparked Nigeria's gift boxes and Senegal's tours, with local flair driving the charge. The breakdown, homegrown creativity is the fuel. Here's the scoop, folks. Sustainable growth needs solid, steady steps. So what's Africa's next move? Got a movement to cheer? Encourage a friend to jump in and drop a comment. But right now, let's welcome a new dawn. And finally, Traoré's dream lights up the sky with a cocoa fund and education paving the way for Africa's self-reliance, kicking off a whole new era. From cocoa trees to classrooms, a legacy takes flight. Doesn't that fill you with pride? Imagine a school in Abidjan where 500 kids jumped into chocolate-making classes in 2025 thanks to a fresh program. The Pan-African Cocoa Reserve Fund, pushed by Traoré, aims to steady cocoa prices with regional cash, mirroring how the USDA backs U.S. farmers. Lack of teamwork tanked tons of policies. Big mistake. If ECOWAS jumps on board this fund, could flip the game, creating thousands of jobs. The breakdown shows it's a solid plan. Here's the deal, folks: unity and know-how unlock economic freedom. Ready to back this future? Hit subscribe channel plus thanks.